new wave of airstrikes. A spokesperson for the Ukrainian Air Force has warned civilians to take shelter. So far, there is no word on casualties or damage. Russian planes reportedly fired more than 100 missiles targeting key infrastructure in Ukraine. The latest strikes comes just hours after multiple explosions at two military bases deep inside of Russian territory. So let's get more on this now. Following the situation for us is Konstantin Eggert. He is standing by in Vilnius. So what are you hearing about this latest round of attacks in Ukraine?
Well, it is a continuation of Putin's strategy, which is aimed at essentially trying to destroy whatever remains of Ukrainian infrastructure during this winter. And because the Ukrainian energy infrastructure proved to be, well, fairly resilient if you look at the at how fierce the attacks are, then this continues, and this will continue. And frankly speaking, I don't think that Putin needs any pretexts anymore. Although the explosions you mentioned, well, can be a reason for that. But on the other hand, preparing such a significant missile strikes means that Russian forces are all the time on standby to launch such kind of strikes.
And we've been hearing about that standby. In fact, that Russian forces were poised to further target energy infrastructure in Ukraine. Is that indeed what we are seeing right now, those promised attacks?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that every time you have some kind of, let's say, Western action against Russia, like the oil price cap that was agreed a day or two ago, you'll have immediately this kind of response. This is Putin's way of saying, actually, I'm not afraid of you. Whether he's afraid or not, that's a different matter. But he always wants to look as if he's pressing ahead.
We've been hearing also about explosions inside Russia at air bases there. Tell us a little bit more about that.
That's very interesting because the explosions happened in an air base near the town of Engelsk, which is in mid-Volga region, deep in Russia. It's about 800 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, if not 1,000. As we know, two strategic Tu-95 bombers were hit. These are very old turboprop planes coming from, like, I think they were constructed in 1950s or something like that. They're still used by the Russian Strategic Bomber Command, and they have been used, as far as I understand, to attack Ukraine. I think the issue, or rather the target here, is not so much the planes themselves that were damaged, but definitely it is whoever struck the Russian bases shows that he or she can do it, and that those planes that target Ukraine, even if they are not very frequently used, are going to be destroyed. I think it's a very interesting symbolic strike.